It's PLB with MLB News back with another video. In today's video is going to be my 2020 MLB season predictions. You saw the title of the video. It's my 2020 MLB season predictions. So if you like this kind of content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications as well so you will get notified whenever I upload a video. But make sure to subscribe. Link in the description to the other channels. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. We'll start off with the NL. The NL East. Starting off in 5th place, unsurprisingly, will be the Miami Marlins, even though they did make a lot of improvements this offseason. They brought in Corey Dickerson to be their left fielder, Jonathan Villar to be their center fielder, and Matt Joyce to be their right fielder, as well as Jesus Aguilar to be their power bat as their first baseman. They still do have some good players besides those players. Brian Anderson, their third baseman. Jorge Alfaro is their catcher, who has some good potential. Lewis Brinson obviously could still break out. He was the main piece of that trade for the Christian Yelich trade, and so far, the Brewers have won that, and I still think that's going to be true. As far as their pitching rotation, their relief pitching is kind of bad, and that's going to be a big problem for them. And their starting pitching is decent, though. They have Sandy Alcantara, Caleb Smith, Jose Arena, Adam Conley, and one other pitcher, I forget his name. Coming in 4th place for the second year in a row is going to be the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, the Phillies did make two key improvements in the offseason. At the shortstop position, they brought in Didi Gregorius. And they brought in Zach Wheeler, a starting pitcher. So they had a pretty decent offseason. It's just they did not have good enough because they needed some relief pitching. They didn't get that. They've still got a lot of good hitters in their lineup. It's just going to be their pitching is their problem. JT Realmuto is still their catcher. This will be the last year of his contract, so expect him to definitely have a great season. Rhys Hoskins is their first baseman. Scott Kingery at second. Gene Segura at third. Andrew McCutchen in left. Roman Quinn or Adam Hazley in center. Bryce Harper in right. And DH is Jay Bruce. Opening day starting pitcher for them will be Aaron Nola. Then you're going to have Zach Wheeler, Jared Eckhoff, Zach Eflin, and some other pitcher. So their starting pitching is not great. Neither is their relief pitching. I think their relief pitching, their just pitching in general, is going to be a problem. That's the reason why they come in 4th place for me. Coming in 3rd place is going to be the New York Mets. Now, I think the Mets can definitely be competitive, and I definitely think they could fight for that 2nd place spot. And I would not be surprised at all if they get that 2nd place spot. But right now, their biggest concern is relief pitching now. Their relief pitching has a lot of potential. Edwin Diaz, Justin Wilson, Jerry's Familia. They have a lot of potential in their bullpen. It's just they did not live up to their potential in 2019. And will they in 2020? Who knows? But the Mets could be a big breakout team. Now, can they win the division? I don't personally think so. I still think that the first place team is the best team in that division. Their starting pitching definitely scares me as a Braves fan. They have Jacob deGrom, Steven Matz, Marcus Stroman, Rick Porcello, and Michael Wacha. And that's a good rotation, a really good rotation, even without one of their better pitchers in Noah Syndergaard. So their DH, they've also got a really good DH, Yoenis Cespedes, who I definitely think could hit a lot of home runs. That could be a big problem. Michael Conforto is in right field for them. Center field's Brandon Nimmo. Left field is J.D. Davis. Shortstop is Ahmed Rosario. Third base is Jeff McNeil, a really good leadoff hitter for them. Robinson Cano at second base, which I would like to see them kind of try to trade him, at least. Pete Alonso at first. Obviously, he could play some DH as well. And Wilson Ramos at catcher. Now, at their DH position, also they could go with Dominic Smith. Will they? Who knows? For the Nationals, they are going to be our 2nd place team. They're going to have a good team in 2020. And even with losing Anthony Rendon, they still have a top prospect there for 2020, that's going to be Carter Kieboom. They've still got a very good outfield, Juan Soto, Victor Robles, and Adam Eaton. Their DH is above average, and Howie Kendrick, who, if he can play like he did in 2019, then he will be very good. As far as their starting pitching, one of the best in all of baseball, Max Scherzer, Steven Strasburg, Patrick Corbin, Anibal Sanchez, and Joe Ross. Shortstop is Trey Turner. Second base is Starlin Castro, who they picked up. And Eric Thames, they picked him up. And Yan Gomes is their catcher, who they re-signed. He will split time with Kurt Suzuki. And coming in first place, I don't think is much of a surprise to anybody. That's going to be the Atlanta Braves. They just have the best team in the NL East. As far as their infield, one of the best in baseball, I would say. As far as first base, second base, shortstop. Third base is a little iffy. Third base, they have Juan Camargo, and he will split time with Austin Riley. I think they're just going to split time. That's my thinking. Travis d'Arnaud and Tyler Flowers will split time at catcher as well. Freddie Freeman is their first baseman. Second baseman is Ozzie Albies. Shortstop is Dansby Swanson. Left, it would have been Nick Markakis, but now it's going to be Yasiel Puig. Center field is going to be Ender Inciarte. Right field, Ronald Acuna. DH, Marcell Ozuna. And pitcher, Mike Soroka. Cole Hamels, Mike Foltynewicz. It would be Felix Hernandez, who I think could have had a decent season. Moving on to the NL Central, where we are going to switch some things up a little bit. Coming in fifth place, unsurprisingly, and I think will probably have the worst record in the NL, and that's going to be the Pittsburgh Pirates. They just don't have a good team. It's kind of simple to me. They don't have a good team. Their catcher is Jacob Stallings, who's definitely a below-average catcher in my opinion. First base is Josh Bell, a top first baseman, probably number 4, number 5. Adam Frazier is their second baseman. Third baseman Colin Moran. Shortstop Kevin Newman. Left fielder is Brian Reynolds, who is probably a top 5 left fielder. Jared Dyson in center, who they picked up in the offseason. And right field is Gregory Polanco. They have probably the worst DH as well, and that's going to be Jose Ozuna. And their starting pitchers are going to be Joe Musgrove, Chris Archer, Jameson Taillon, Mitch Keller. Lots of good pitchers in their starting rotation. It's just besides that, they don't really have a good team. Coming in fourth place is going to be the Milwaukee Brewers. I think they're definitely going to have a down season. Catcher, they've got Omar Narvaez, who they picked up from the Seattle Mariners in a trade. First baseman is Justin Smoke. Second base is Keston Hiura. Third base, Eric Sogard. Shortstop, Orlando Arcia. Left field, Avisail Garcia. Center fielder, Lorenzo Cain. And right fielder, Christian Yelich. Their DH is going to be Ryan Braun, who's pretty good. And their pitcher is Brandon Woodruff, who will be their opening day starting pitcher. Coming in third place with another disappointing season will be the Chicago Cubs. I think they could definitely be in fourth place on a lot of predictions, and I don't think that is a bold prediction at all. And the reason of that is because of their pitching, and they have a new manager. I don't think they're ready to compete in 2020 with the bad pitching that they have. They've got Yu Darvish, Kyle Hendricks, John Lester in their rotation, but John Lester, he's kind of washed. Yu Darvish, he's iffy. Kyle Hendricks is always going to be good. Their DH is definitely above average, Kyle Schwarber. Right field, Jason Hayward. Center field, Albert Almora. Left field, Ian Happ. That's a big problem. Just their outfit in general is a big problem. But their infield's really good. Jason Kipnis, Chris Bryant, Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo. And their catcher is probably the best, one of the best in baseball, and Wilson Contreras. Coming in second place is going to be the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, I do think they're going to have a good season. It's just their relief pitching is definitely a big concern for me. Their opening day starting pitcher will be Jack Flaherty. They will also have Adam Wainwright, Miles Michaelis, Carlos Martinez. So they have a good starting rotation. DH is going to be Matt Carpenter. Right field, Dexter Fowler. Center field, Harrison Bader. Left field is going to be Lane Thomas and Tyler O'Neill. I think they're going to be splitting time. I think Tyler O'Neill for the most part, though. Shortstop, Paul DeYoung. Third base, Tommy Edman. Second baseman, Colton Wong. First base is going to be Paul Goldschmidt, probably the second best first baseman in the game. And Yadier Molina, who's washed. And coming in at first place, process of elimination, I'm pretty sure you already know who's coming in first place. That's going to be the Cincinnati Reds. Now, they're going to have a really good team. Tucker Barnhart's their catcher. He's decent. Joey Votto at first. Now, if he can play a good first base and play like MVP Joey Votto, whoo, they might have the best record in the NL. Mike Moustakas at second. Third base is going to be Eugenio Suarez. Shortstop, Freddie Galvis. Left field, Shogo Akiyama. Center fielder, Nick Senzel. Right field is Jesse Winker. And DH is going to be Nicholas Castellanos. And they can always bring Aristides Aquino up from their 60-man player pool, who I'm actually surprised wasn't on their 30-man roster or 26-man roster, I meant. Pitchers, Luis Castillo, Sonny Gray. They've also got Trevor Bauer, Anthony DeSclafani, and Wade Miley, who is a good number 5. So moving on to the NL West, and we'll start off in 5th place, unsurprisingly to me, which is going to be the San Francisco Giants. A lot of their players are old and they're washed. Buster Posey, he's kind of washed. He's out of the season, so doesn't matter. Joey Bart's probably going to come up and be their catcher. First base, Brandon Belt. Second base, Yolmer Sanchez, who could actually be pretty good as a leadoff hitter or 9-hitter or whatever they want to go with for him. Evan Longoria is at third base, washed. Shortstop, Brandon Crawford, once again washed. Alex Dickerson's in left field. He's decent. Mauricio Dubon is in center field, a top prospect for them. And Mike Yastrzemski is in right field. Mike Yastrzemski, I think he's going to go off. So he could be kind of like an MVP candidate, even though his team's going to be bad. DHs are going to be Hunter Pence, which is actually a really good DH. Starting pitcher on opening day is going to be Johnny Cueto. Their pitching's bad. Their hitting's not that great either. So, Giants are definitely in 5th place. Coming in 4th place is going to be the Colorado Rockies. They're a team that I would like to see be good. But they just cannot get the starting pitching to be good. Herman Marquez is going to be their opening day starting pitcher. Ew. Daniel Murphy at DH. Right field is going to be Charlie Blackmon. Center is going to be David Dahl. Left field, Raimel Tapia. Shortstop, Trevor Story. Third base, Nolan Arenado, the best in the game. Second base, Chris Owings / Brandon Rogers. I personally would like to see Brandon Rogers there. First base is Ryan McMahon, and their catcher is going to be Tony Walters. Relief pitching's bad. Wade Davis, he's been bad ever since he went to the Rockies. Padres are the 3rd place team. Francisco Mejia is going to be their catcher. Eric Hosmer at first base, who really has not lived up to that contract. Second base is Jerkson Profar. Third base, Manny Machado. Shortstop, Fernando Tatis. Left field, Tommy Pham. Center field, Trent Grisham. Right fielder is Will Myers. So they have kind of a weak outfield minus Tommy Pham. DH is Josh Naylor. Weak DH. Chris Paddock is going to be their opening day starting pitcher. They have very weak pitching, which kind of scares me. Coming in 2nd place is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks. Their catcher is Carson Kelly. Christian Walker at first. Second base is going to be Ketel Marte. Third base, Eduardo Escobar. Shortstop, Nick Ahmed. Left field, David Peralta. Center fielder, Starling Marte. Right field, Cole Calhoun. DH, Jake Lamb. Pitcher, Madison Bumgarner. And Zach Gallen. They're also going to have Robbie Ray. They would have Mike Leake, but he opted out. And we'll get to the opt-outs in a second. As soon as we get done with the NL, we'll go ahead and get to the opt-outs. Catchers, we move on to the 1st place team, which is going to be the LA Dodgers. Not a surprise here. Will Smith is going to be their catcher. Max Muncy at first. Second, Gavin Lux. Third base, Justin Turner. Shortstop, is going to be Corey Seager, Jock Peterson in left, center Cody Bellinger, right field Mookie Betts, best outfield in baseball probably. Matt Beatty's probably going to be their DH. AJ Pollock could also be there. Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, lots of other good pitchers. Their relief pitching is a concern for me, though. And let's go ahead and move on to the opt-outs. The opt-outs could impact some teams, and we'll get into that, but they could impact some teams. I mean, will they? That's a big if. So, we'll start off with the Braves, which are the first team that are going to have opt-outs. Eric Young, their coach, is an opt-out. Felix Hernandez is an opt-out. Outfielder Nick Markakis as well is a lockout. Opt-out. Next team is the Cardinals, Jordan Hicks, which could be big for them, actually. Diamondbacks, Mike Leake. Dodgers, David Price. Giants, Buster Posey. Indians, Brad Mills, a coach for them. Nationals, they have 3. Joe Ross, right-handed pitcher. He would be their number 5 in their rotation. Ryan Zimmerman, who would have only been a backup first baseman. Catcher, Wellington Castillo, as well. He probably wouldn't have got a lot of time. Pirates, Hector Noese is opted out. Rockies, Ian Desmond has opted out. Outfielder. For the Twins, they have had 2 coaches that have opted out, Bill Evers and Bob McClure. For the White Sox, they have got Michael Kopech, a right-handed pitcher who opted out, who would have probably been their number 3. And the last one that has opted out is Tyson Ross. He's a free agent. He's not even on a team, so that's kind of pointless. It was pretty much to tell a team, I'm not playing if you sign me. So that's the full list of opt-outs. And yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the NL playoffs. So, for our wild card game, we're going to have the 4-seed Nationals. I think they're going to get in the NL wild card again. Versus the 5-seed Diamondbacks. So for your pitching matchup, you're going to probably have a Madison Bumgarner versus Max Scherzer, which is going to be a good pitching matchup, a good wild card game, and a really good wild card game. I think for the Nationals, Madison Bumgarner being their starting pitcher is a big scare. We'll get to who wins that in a second. But as far as our division winners, you have the Dodgers, Braves, and Reds. And let's go ahead and move on to the AL. We'll start off with the AL East. Coming in at 5th place, unsurprisingly for me, will be the Baltimore Orioles. Catcher is Pedro Severino, who's above average. I definitely think he has some potential. Chris Davis at first. Second base is going to be Hanser Alberto. Third base, Rio Uriz. Shortstop, Jose Iglesias, a pickup for them. Left field, Anthony Santana. Center field, Austin Hayes. And right field, DJ Stewart. DH is going to be Riano Nunez, who's definitely pretty good. John Means is going to be their opening day starting pitcher. Coming in 4th place, which is very disappointing, and they have a terribly disappointing season. Once again, second year in a row, Boston Red Sox. They have no pitching. It's simple. Their starting pitching is okay. As far as at the top, Nathan Eovaldi and Eduardo Rodriguez. Eduardo Rodriguez is going to be their opening day pitcher. JD Martinez is their DH. Alex Verdugo in right. Center field is going to be Jackie Bradley. Left field, Andrew Benintendi. Shortstop, Alexander Bogaerts. Third base, Rafael Devers. Second base, Jose Peraza. First base, Mitch Moreland. And catcher is going to be Christian Vasquez. No pitching. And their starting lineup at spots is weak too. Mainly in center, catcher, kind of weak. Coming in 3rd place is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays, which I think have a big season as far as in their rebuild. Henry Ryu is going to be their opening day starter, their big free agent move. Rowdy Tellez is their DH. Teoscar Hernandez is the right fielder. Center fielder is going to be Randall Grichuk, who's super underrated. Lourdes Gurriel is their left fielder. Shortstop is Bo Bichette. Third base is Vladimir Guerrero, who will be playing more at first base, though. Second base, Kevin Biggio. First base, Travis Shaw, who will probably just switch places with Vlad Jr. And catchers, Danny Jansen. Coming in second place, and I'm sure this is going to make some fans mad, especially Yankees fans. Yankees, you're going in second place, and that is the reason why you don't have pitching. Your pitching is bad. Garrett Cole, he's really good. I'll give you that. He's still not the best starting pitcher in the game, though. Luis Severino is going to be their number 2, which kind of concerns me. James Paxton 3. J.A. Happ 4. Tanaka 5. Giancarlo Stanton's going to be their DH. Right field, Aaron Judge. Center field, Aaron Hicks. Left field, Brett Gardner. Shortstop, Gleyber Torres. Third base, Gio Urshela. DJ LeMahieu is their second baseman. And first base is Luke Voigt. And their catcher is Gary Sanchez. So they're very good. But the team ahead of them, I think, is just a little bit better. And that's going to be the Tampa Bay Rays. And you'll see a little bit by the awards why they are in first place. And Mike Suriano is their catcher. G-Man Choi at first. Second is going to be Brandon Lowe. Third base, Yandy Diaz. Shortstop, Willie Adames. Left field, Hunter Renfroe. Kevin Kiermaier at center field. Right fielder, Austin Meadows. And the DH is going to be... I can't pronounce it. Testuco? I don't know how it's pronounced. Charlie Morton and Blake Snell are going to be their main pitchers. Ryan Yarbrough, Yanni Trines, and Tyler Glasnow. That's a really good starting pitching. Their relief pitching is underrated too. So coming in fifth place in the AL Central is going to be the Tigers. Austin Roman's their catcher. CJ Cron's their first baseman. Second baseman is Jonathan Scope. Third base, Jamar Candelario. Nico Goodrum at shortstop. Left fielder is Christian Stewart. Center field, Jacoby Jones. And right fielder is Victor Reyes. DH is Miguel Cabrera, who I think is mostly washed right now. And Matthew Boyd's going to be their ace. Coming in fourth place is going to be the Royals, even though I do think they have a big progression in their rebuild. Salvador Perez is their catcher. Ryan O'Hearn at first. Nicky Lopez at second base. Third base is Miguel Franco. Alberto Mondesi at short. Left field is Alex Gordon. Center field, Whit Merrifield. Right field, Hunter Dozier. DH, Jorge Soler. And Brad Keller's going to be their ace. Danny Duffy as well. They'll be their main two pitchers. Coming in third place is going to be the Cleveland Indians, who don't have a bad team. It's just I think the two teams ahead of them are better. Roberto Perez is their catcher. First base, Carlos Santana. Second base, Cesar Hernandez. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Francisco Lindor at short. Left field, Franmil Reyes. Oscar Macedo is going to be their center fielder. Greg Allen as well. Right field, Tyler Naquin. DH, Domingo Santana. Pitcher, Shane Bieber. And Mike Clevenger. Going to be their main two. Coming in second place, who made big offseason moves, the White Sox. Yasmani Grandal is our catcher. Jose Abreu at first. Second, Solari Garcia, probably the weakest part in their lineup. Yoan Moncada at third. Tim Anderson at short. Eloy Jimenez in left. Center's going to be Luis Robert. Right field, Nomar Mazara. Edwin Encarnacion is going to be their DH. And Lucas Giolito is going to be their ace. And Dallas Keuchel, Reynaldo Lopez. Michael Kopech could have been a big pitcher for them. Coming in first place is going to be the Minnesota Twins, who made a big offseason move, getting their third baseman, Josh Donaldson. Their catcher is going to be Mitch Garver. First base, Miguel Sano. Second base, Luis Arias. Shortstop, Jorge Polanco. Left field, Eddie Rosario. Center fielder, Byron Buxton. Right field, Max Kepler. DH, Nelson Cruz. And pitcher, Jose Barrios. So they will be finishing first place. Now to the AL West. Coming in fifth place is going to be the Seattle Mariners. Tom Murphy's their catcher. First base is Evan White. Second base is Shed Long. Third base is Kyle Seager. Shortstop is J.P. Crawford. And in the outfield they have Kyle Lewis, Malik Smith, Jake Fraley, DH is Daniel Vogelback, and Marco Gonzalez is going to be their ace. Coming in fourth place is going to be the Oakland A's. I think they have a terribly disappointing season. They just don't really have great pitching. Catcher Sean Murphy. First base Matt Olson. Second base Franklin Barreto. Third base Matt Chapman. Shortstop Marcus Semien. Left field Mark Canha. Raymond Laureano is their center fielder, and right fielder is Stephen Piscotty. DH is Chris Davis, and their ace is Mike Fiers. Coming in third place is going to be the Texas Rangers. Catcher is Robinson Chirinos. First base Ronald Guzman. Second base is Bruno Odor. Third base Todd Frazier. Shortstop Elvis Andrews. Left field Willie Calhoun. Center fielder Danny Santana. Right fielder Joey Gallo. DH Senso Chu. Pitcher is going to be Lance Lynn. Coming in at second is going to be the Trash Can Bangers. Catcher is Martin Maldonado. First base is Yuli Gurriel. Second base Jose Altuve. Third base Alex Bregman. Shortstop Carlos Correa. Left field Michael Brantley. Center field George Springer. Right field Josh Reddick. DH Yordan Alvarez. And pitcher Justin Verlander and Zach Greinke will be their main two. Coming in first place is the Angels. We're finally going to get to see Mike Trout in the playoffs. Catcher is Jason Castro. First base is Albert Pujols. David Fletcher at second. Third base is Anthony Rendon. Shortstop is Andrelton Simmons. Justin Upton in left. Center Mike Trout. And right is going to be Brian Goodwin. DH is Shohei Ohtani. Andrew Heaney, Julio Teheran, Dylan Buddy, and a bunch of others will be their starting pitchers. So now, finally, we get to the playoffs, which is where I could see some people being mad. So for our wild card in the AL, we'll have the Yankees versus the Trash Can Bangers, Justin Verlander versus Garrett Cole. The matchup that was supposed to be, that was the ALCS in 2019-2017. Whew. This was going to have a lot of boos and a lot of hit pitches. Too bad fans can't be at the game. That's the big part of this matchup. And that's tough because it'd be funny to see the Trash Can Bangers getting booed. But without the Trash Can Banging, their luck in the playoffs finally ends and the Yankees move on to face the 1-seed Twins. The 2 seeds the Rays, the 3 seed is the Angels. For the NL, Nationals versus the D-backs. That's going to be an interesting game. 1 seed Dodgers, 4 seed Nationals. Nationals move on. So they will go on to face the Dodgers, same matchup as last year, and it's going to be the Braves versus the Reds. 2 seed Braves, 3 seed Reds. You get the point. So the Nationals, they're the 4 seed, and they're going to move on. They're going to beat the 1 seed Dodgers because of their relief pitching. I think it's better than the Dodgers. Braves versus the Reds. Braves move on. And for our championship series, we have... Oh, maybe I should talk about the AL. Rays versus the Angels. The Angels, they're very good. It's just the Rays. Their starting pitching, their relief pitching is too much. The Rays move on. Yankees versus the Twins. Same matchup from last year. Go ahead and get mad, Yankee fans. You're done in the first round. Twins move on. For the NL, it's going to be the 4 seed Nationals versus the 2 seed Braves. An in-division matchup, or series, I should say. The Nationals are good, and they have a really good starting rotation, which scares me. But the Braves move on to the World Series. Twins versus the Rays. 1 seed versus the 2 seed. And I'm actually going to go with the Rays moving on to the World Series. So we have 2 seeds in the World Series. 2 seed Rays versus the 2 seed Braves. And for our World Series winner, could I get a drum roll? It's going to be the Atlanta Braves. I think they win the World Series. Now the Rays, they're going to be tough. But the Braves, they're going to be really good. And I think the Braves win that in 7 games. For our 2020 MLB awards predictions, let's go ahead and get to that. AL MVP, this is a boring pick, but I'm going to go with Mike Trout of the LA Angels. For the NL MVP, I'm going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to go with Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves. For the AL Cy Young, I'm going to go with Corey Kluber of the Rangers, and he has a bounce back year. He'd be like the most improved. NL Cy Young is Steven Strasburg. Nationals, Corey Kluber would be most improved just because last year he's bad. AL Rookie of the Year is going to be Luis Robert. White Sox, Mackenzie Gore is going to be the NL Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to make a big impact for the Padres. Does it lead them to the playoffs? I don't think so. AL Manager of the Year is going to be Kevin Cash of the Rays. And I think coming in second place in the AL MVP voting is going to be Austin Meadows of the Rays. NL Manager of the Year is going to be Brian Snitker. So the two Managers of the Years is the World Series matchup. I think Dave Martinez from the Nationals could also possibly get it, or David Bell of the Reds. So that's going to be the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like as well as subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. But make sure to subscribe. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos soon. Make sure to check out my other channels, link in the description below. Subscribe to those. That's going to be the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos next week.